Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Atlas. In today's video, I will be discussing Bitcoin, Ethereum, Orchid, aka OXT, as well as NuCypher or Nu. And this is actually going to be a very short video. There really hasn't been much of anything that's happened today. So I got a couple little tidbits off of Twitter to go ahead and share with you guys with Bitcoin. And then we'll take a look at these charts more. It is currently 3:58 p.m. Pacific Standard Time as of the time of me recording this video, so it is very close to having the new daily candle position. One more minute to go, just now turned 3:59. So take a look at that in just a second here and see how things continue to move in the new daily position, as that will now put us closer towards a resistance and support as we've been forming, as you guys can actually see on the chart right here. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up, like button. Let's get this video to at least 100 likes, and also click the bell icon so you can stay up to date for the latest cryptocurrency news and technical analysis. Drop a comment down below and tell me what you guys thought about all the news today. If you guys feel that I maybe missed anything, or if you just even want to say hello. Hope you guys are all doing well, and let's go ahead and get into this. First, a little bit over on the Twitter side. Alistair Milne just posted a little bit earlier today. He said a large amount of Bitcoin just left Coinbase, large amounts leaving nearly all exchanges, really. Oh, and a quick side note, if you guys want to check me out on Twitter, my handle is in the bottom left-hand side right here. It's at AtlasOfficialTV. Feel free to go and follow me and say hi, or check out the content that I'm posting on there if you guys want to. A large amount of Bitcoin just left Coinbase. Okay, so you can actually see not just Coinbase. Coinbase had 14,890 Bitcoin. That's over the last 24 hours. Huobi had 1,079. Binance had 2,650, and then so on and so on. In total, this was 20,852 Bitcoin moved off of exchanges, which means that essentially you're taking that out of moving circulating supply, accessible circulating supply, and putting it into a cold storage position. And guess what? You still got companies like Grayscale that are still consuming large purchasing orders of Bitcoin. You still have PayPal that's doing the same kind of thing. And lo and behold, you start to take more and more off the exchanges. That means that there's a shortage in supply, which also means that if demand kicks up, that it's going to steamroll the price as long as people don't flood the Bitcoin back onto the exchanges. And a lot of people, because of what was going on with Robinhood and the whole like preventing people from being able to access and to buy not Bitcoin, to buy GameStop and some of these other stocks, and they could only sell it. People don't like that manipulation that's going on. And so a lot of people are now looking at the idea of like, let's go support cryptocurrency. Let's go support Bitcoin. And we saw a big increase in the amount of users recently with Coinbase. The subreddit for Bitcoin also had a dramatic spike as well. And so with Coinbase having a large amount being pulled off, and the fact that we have over $1 billion in short positions right now, those people can get liquidated. And that means that they have to buy back into the Bitcoin with whatever price that ends up happening in the end with that. And so, yeah, we very well could see the price of Bitcoin just absolutely skyrocket here in the next week if this actually plays out the way that it looks like it's going to be playing out. We'll have to see if there's any crazy news of other things that comes in. Nothing is guaranteed with this stuff, but it's going to be very interesting. And now we're in the new daily candle position. We're actually 2 minutes in. You can see that the price is starting to drop down a bit on that side. You can also see on this chart right here that it is also having some large sell orders. $1, 2, 3, 4, $5 million worth in just the last 1 minute, all through the Bybit side, and potentially going to see some more selling pressure downwards. We're looking to see if there's going to be some major support at $32,186 right now. But as it's a new daily candle, boom, immediately people are trying to change its position. It did close out below the 21 EMA, suggesting that we are in a bear market position. We had 1, 2, 3 days of closure that happened above the 21 EMA. First one wasn't really that high, but it was still above. So after 3 days of closure, that alone signifies a pretty strong pattern, suggesting that you're pretty likely to still have a bull run. However, we had 1 day of closure. This could be a fake out. Even with the drop down right now, this could be a fake out. The fact that they're moving the coins off of the exchanges, again, just suggests that there's going to be a shortage of supply, and we're going to have a supply shock. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the price just absolutely skyrocket tomorrow. But as it is right now, people are still selling. The other thing to keep in mind is the Chinese New Year. China has about 60% of the hash rate for the mining of Bitcoin. So they're very big contributors to that field. And because of how the Chinese New Year works, there is a lot of signs suggesting that they will more than likely sell, as they need the money to be able to give to the other people around them. But it's not necessarily a guarantee with this stuff. Looking at it from a historical perspective, it wasn't every single year that it actually dropped. It's happened more often than not, but it's not a guarantee with this stuff. So we're going to take a look at that more in just a minute. Anthony Pompliano said, it appears Mark Cuban is finally all in on Bitcoin, crypto, and digital goods. Just a matter of time until every innovator sees the light. Welcome to the party, Mark. And Mark Cuban actually had posted a blog article that really highlights a lot about cryptocurrency stuff. Also, I want to go ahead and say real quick, if you guys see these things, these are scams. I've been blocking these things left and right. There's so many accounts. This is a complete scam. Do not click on that link that's right there. Do not click on it. As you guys can see, the Moon, there's a YouTuber named Carl or the Moon, and this is not his account. These people are using their name, they're using their profile pictures, they're trying to make it sound like as if they got a relationship, like, oh, thanks, Tyler Winklevoss, and then they're just trying to scam you with this stuff. So I've been just blocking these people like crazy. There's so many of them, and then these stupid bot things respond back to them as if trying to make it sound like it's a real thing. Like, oh yeah, worked for me, totally real. And there's gonna be a lot of those scams that are out there. So be very careful. If it sounds too good to be true, you should definitely have your red flags up. Don't get burned on this stuff. Please be very careful, guys. But talking about with Mark Cuban originally had said that he compares Bitcoin with bananas, but like people would actually he would rather have a banana than to have Bitcoin. And now he's like really big into Bitcoin. He's tweeting about it and stuff. He's posting his blog article. So his point of view has changed, right? And that happens with people. People's point of views change. Next up, Daniel Prince said, bringing the noise at Michael Saylor. Probably nothing, just day one of a 3-day lineup, all completely free. Go ahead, keep ignoring Bitcoin. Now, for those of you guys that don't know, Michael Saylor is working with a company called MicroStrategy, and they've been buying a ton of Bitcoin, and it's been in the news for the last couple months. And he talks about Bitcoin all the time on Twitter, really boasting about how it's got so much value. Well, he scheduled recently, I've talked about this in previous video, an upcoming summit, seminar kind of thing. I don't know what you exactly want to call it. And this is going to be starting on February 3rd. And here's just a schedule that's now been released of what the topics are going to be. So at 12 p.m., he's going to be talking about a review of Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset and various macroeconomic factors driving its adoption by corporations and institutional investors. Then at 1 o'clock or 1 hour later, he's going to be saying a review of ways in which corporations can integrate with the Bitcoin monetary network and the advantages of different strategies. After that, a walkthrough of key strategic and operational considerations and associated steps to consider for corporations integrating Bitcoin into a treasury reserve strategy. And then finally, at 3 p.m. during that day, it is an overview of key legal and regulatory considerations for corporations integrating Bitcoin into a treasury reserve strategy. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 different hours from 12 o'clock to, well, actually almost 5 hours, 12 to 4:45 p.m. Eastern time for that. There's a whole slew of different corporations that have been joining in to learn more about this. So after this whole presentation, we could see fairly soon some companies actually move some of their assets into buying Bitcoin. But typically you're going to see it be, depending on the scale of how big the company is, like a 3 to 6 month period before they actually go through the full corporate approval to be able to go ahead and acquire these things. So we might see some that have the accessibility to make the decision sooner, especially given how the market is and where the trends are going. I'm sure one of the things that he's going to be talking about too is just the precedence of, like, if you're going to make a decision on this, the sooner you do it is the better. First mover's advantage perspective. Okay, now looking at the charts, you guys can actually see what I had set up in this symmetrical triangle pattern has been very efficient. Oh yeah, baby. And you can see we essentially had almost bounced off of the top level of resistance, which is at $34,484. and then came very close down to the bottom, which we actually went down to 32,194. I had it at 32,035. So very close between those 2 points. And this also coincides very well. If I try and drag that across, you can see very close to these different points there. Even on the new daily candle position, we're going to be looking at some major support at 32,156. Already on the new daily candle, though, it is dropping considerably. I am pretty used to this, though, at this point, to be honest with you guys. So if you're not very familiar with crypto and watching on the new daily candle positions, it tends to swing pretty wildly lately in the last like couple weeks, making a move decision one way or the other. Yeah, and now it's starting to get bought back up. So it's almost like as if people are coming together and trying to force it to have that bottom wick and just get it out of the way, and then to have the rest be the buying pressure back up. For the most part, that's what it's been seeming like. You can see that there are very large wicks on the bottom side throughout these different time periods. There's some that are very large on the upside, like this one right here. Can't believe that actually ended up in the closing being negative after all that push. And that is what it is, but I think that was the day that Elon Musk tweeted about it. Or no, actually, sorry, that was on the 29th because it was even more recent. So if Bitcoin decides it wants to go down, look for support at $32,167, another level down at $32,044. And let's just say it decides it wants to keep dropping even harder, then it could theoretically go down. I would be looking at $30,000 as a key level of support. That's a $2,614 drop, which would be quite substantial for a daily position. Let's go ahead and take a look at it and see what that would mean as far as a daily, come on, there we go, is a daily percentage change. If it was to do so, that would actually be a 9.81% drop, quite substantial. In theory, we have had moments where it's gone like, say, 30% of a correction, 20% of a correction in very short periods of time. So even if we just went to, say, a 20% correction right there, that would drop it all the way down to 26,513. This would be an insane candle. Again, given the fact that so much Bitcoin's been moved off the exchanges, we would have to have more Bitcoin be moved back onto the exchange. You have more users that just joined Coinbase. Like, there's so many signs suggesting that it wouldn't make sense for the price to just suddenly drop. And the only thing that could really affect that, I think, is if there's some new news that comes out that's going to be really bad news. And I won't know that news until we know that news, right? So you got to be keeping this in mind, that stuff like this is possible. And if it went all the way down to the red zone, right down here, that would be almost a 30% drop, which would be ridiculous. And that would bring it all the way down to $23,459. I would not be expecting this. The odds of this happening are very slim, but it is possible. So just keep that in mind. Now, let's look at it from a positive perspective, because again, I do think that this is more than likely going to be positive. We're still inside the symmetrical triangle pattern here, so we haven't fully established the trend of where it is likely to have a continuation into next. And as it is right now, if it was to move up, we would have a level at the 21 EMA, which is $33,341, breaking above that. Then we have another level at $34,200, breaking above $34,200. We need to get up to $36,900, break above 37K from a psychological standpoint. And we saw some major resistance, ideally actually right around here, which was at $37,918, almost $38,000. When this big push happened with Elon Musk, it was such a large candle and it just had a big continuation. So it technically slightly went above this level, but we saw a lot of different reference points previously in the time frame here to show that we have a big level of resistance at $37,865. As we've seen, like a $5,000 candle move in 1 hour from where it is at right now, $37,600 is very possible of that kind of a move from literally where it is right now. And that's not even considering the fact that we're negative for the day. So if it just regained its actual position and then had a further continuation up from the start of the day, we could see something like that happen. And furthermore, if it had an even stronger rally, then we would be needing to go all the way up to here, which is at $42,000. So actually $40,000 is the big target goal right now. Can we pass $40,000 is the question that's on everyone's mind. And aside from that, would be right around the what was that? I was just now talking about the $38,000 level. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Looking at Ethereum, Ethereum is slightly on the downtrend as of the moment. It is on its third day, 2 days of candle closures, one of them which was basically neutral, but it is still above the 21 EMA. That's still a good sign. We saw a bounce yesterday take place off of this key level support that I had set up and shown you guys, which is at 1,284. If it decides to have a further continuation down, we got the 21 EMA, which is at $1,251. A further drop down below that would be at $1,229, and an even further drop down below that would be $1,135. So we got several key levels as of the moment for the most bearish of positions. You see that we have something like this back on January 21st. So in theory, we would be pushing all the way back down to $1,000 or even sub 1,000 to 977. This is really looking like an absolute worst case within a 24-hour time period. The likelihood of this, again, is very slim, but yeah, it is possible. I still think it's going to end up being bullish over the next 24 hours because now we're moving into a Monday candle. And the stock market's going to be opening back up. A lot of the stuff that's going on with GameStop, like I was talking about. So people are really like looking towards these kinds of things now and to try and liquidate a lot of those people that are trying to short these positions. And it's the end of the month. So people probably want Bitcoin for the month of January in 2021, which hit a crazy high historic move, to end on a pretty positive note. So, you know, there's a lot of good reasons why. If it decides it wants to have a break up, we're actually seeing some resistance right about here, which is taking place at $1,381. See if it can manage to break above that level. And if it can manage to break above that level, then the next major zone we have is 1,426 for Ethereum, and another level at 1,480. That is the absolute highest that we've done ever. So 1,500 is a big goal. Breaking above 1,500, $1,750, $2,000 are both psychological. Establishing above 1,500 and actually having a daily candle close is going to be so important. If that manages to pull off, then the next day, if the market is still having a good rally, I think it very well could shoot up to $1,750, $2,000 in the next day, you know? But that's all depending on also what goes on with Bitcoin. People are taking profits, all kinds of crazy stuff that's going on. Let's take a look at Orchid, and then we're going to finish up by taking a look at NuCypher. Orchid, 4 days of candle closures above the 21 EMA, so signifying that we are in a bull market. Ideally, that fourth candle was actually the signal sign that there should be a further continuation on. So it can be invalidated immediately afterwards. This even by itself isn't a guarantee. We're just looking at probability with this stuff, right? So as it is right now, the whole market is showing a little bit of bearish signs on the new daily candle, but we're only 16 minutes in. If it decides that it wants to go down, we have Orchid at the 21 EMA, which is 28 cents or 0.2869. Further level down below that, we have a further continuation that's moving on with this level of support here. So that's really going to be positioned at 27 cents approximately. It just looks like it might be just a little bit below that. And then a further level down below on the Fibonacci retracement would be at 26 cents or 0.2637. I am seeing some more drops going on with Bitcoin at the moment. Dropping below the 0.2635, we have another level that's very deep at 22 cents, 0.2238. If it decides it wants to break up, okay, so break up above this Fibonacci level at 30 cents, also a key psychological level, 0.3047 would be great. We see a lot of resistance going on at 31 cents or 0.3110, and then up around the 33 cent. It's actually starting to show a little bit more signs at almost 33 cents. It's 0.32. Yeah, I'm just going to say 33 cents because we have other instances here that are actually pushing just slightly above, and these ones are slightly below. So you kind of take the median zone, and you're looking at a 33% position. I'm really just going to go ahead and give you guys a line right there like that. Oh, that's actually perfectly straight. I did one for a change. Normally, they're just kind of cockeyed, just barely. So cool, I got that set up. So 33 cents is a very key level to break above and to close above. That's the biggest thing, is we need to close above this. The technical radar, you can't see it above my head or behind my head, but it's a strong buy right now, which is actually great because I thought it was just going to be a buy, but no, it's suggesting that Orchid is a strong buy position right now. And the RSI, if you take a look at it, is essentially just slightly above the median zone. So we're not even in overbought territory, and it's being sold right now. So if you're looking for a good buy opportunity, there's a lot of signs suggesting that this is now a good buying opportunity. The only bad things that I can really highlight with this, I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not telling you guys that you should buy this stuff anyways, okay? That's your own decision. But one of the bad things about this is it has a history of doing pump and dumps. And I think that's largely because of bot systems or because of what happens with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin starts to tank a ton, then Orchid just immediately just drops. If Bitcoin starts to take some rise, Orchid will start making some little gains. Just when it starts to look like it's having a massive rally, then Bitcoin starts to drop a little bit, and it's just that little like moment of hesitation, like, oh wait, maybe this was the fake out and Bitcoin's not actually going to make its move. Then Orchid just massively dumps again. So it happens so much. Very, very volatile. I think the project itself is strong. The development of what they're working on next is more strong though, and that's what I'm most excited about. It's about looking into the future and where they're going to be, not necessarily the industry space that they're in at the moment. Right now, if you guys don't know, they mostly focus on VPN space, but they have technology that deals with nano payments, and that nano payment technology is expected to be released into other markets of focus and some other cool stuff like staking and stuff. So if it wants to break above 31 cents, we got 33 cents, and let's get all the way up, trying to push towards the 40-cent range next, and back onto our way, going to head up all the way back up to around $1. Let me go ahead and get this saved. Now let's go ahead and go take a look at NuCypher. New USD. Look at the new USD. Ha 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 ha. I made it funny. All right. Let me know if you guys know what movie that's from. Ha! I made it funny. And you know what? Actually, it's a lot more of a relation. Come on, grab it. There we go. There we go. I'm looking for more of a relationship. These are some outlier positions. I can go ahead and delete these old ones right there, just like that. All right, and let's go ahead and get that saved. So if I go ahead and take a look at this, the first thing is from yesterday. It's suggesting on the RSI that it was overbought. It's been on this big rally and it's overbought and suggesting to sell. And then on today's daily candle, lo and behold, what is it doing? It's selling. But also that's because Bitcoin is selling, and Ethereum's selling, and Orchid's selling, and everything is selling again. Everyone is selling. Don't make a Lego movie saying that though. Kids will grow up and want to sell all their stuff. Or I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm weird like that sometimes, guys. And once again, if you're new to the channel and enjoying yourself, don't forget to hit subscribe. And also, looking at this position, if it decides it wants to drop down further, we have a key level support at 25 cents or 0.2521. Another key level down below at 22 cents, 0.2218. Another level drop below that at 0.2156. Very minor difference, obviously, between these two. And a very, very low base point to kind of work off of, which would be all the way down back around 15 cents, 0.1556, right? So there's lots of different positions to move. Geez, I didn't even realize I had all these other things. What was I working on back then? Sorry about that. And heading back over here, right now, we are trying to get back above this Fibonacci level, which would put us at a resistance of 28 cents or 0.2832. Yesterday was a position almost hitting 30 cents. So 30 cents psychologically is also going to be a very strong point to try and break above. And you can see that there is a bit of relationship that is going across. If I go ahead and draw this line right across like here, we have 1, 2 points right there. Actually, it's not that strong of a reference point now that I look at it. Where do we have the most? There's not much to work off of with this way back when, because that was actually like a big pump and dump situation. So there's not actually a strong line of relationship for level of resistance for me to reference to, except I would say on this Fibonacci level, to be completely honest with you guys. So let's see, with that, the only other thing I can actually do is if I go ahead and set a major level of resistance and the formation of the pattern like this, and because we have the previous day there, I'm gonna go ahead and make this a straight line as well. So as you can see, in that perspective view, we actually should be expecting to see some major resistance past the 28-cent level at just slightly below this point, which would be at 0.2992. Very minor differences between these, right? So it's essentially the same thing. Looking at 30 cents is still realistically that position that you should keep an eye on. And also, if it decides it wants to drop back down from the high yesterday to the low yesterday, that was a 24% difference. Just keep that in mind. With the actual candle close, that had put it at where we're at right now at a 4% drop in its movement. So if it decides it wants to go to say 10% right here, then 10% of a movement change would actually put it down to 24 cents or 0.2469. Those are your key levels to watch out for this stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video here. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think this is about to go to the moon? You think it's gonna pull back as it is right now? It is still inside of a bull run, but it is suggesting this a little bit overbought. So I wouldn't be surprised if on the daily it closes out just slightly red. However, it is making a bit of a push and it has some room to kind of reference from before, but those were also very like pump and dump kind of times, like massive gain and then just immediately drop. And this is with the release on Coinbase side. So you guys tell me what you guys think. Again, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the sub button, hit subscribe. Hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up like button. Let's get this to at least 100 likes. Click the bell icon so you can stay up to date for the latest cryptocurrency news and technical analysis. Drop a comment down below. Tell me what you guys thought about everything. Again, I guess I made it a longer video. I thought it was going to be shorter somehow because I barely talked at all about some of those news things, but it is what it is. And yeah, you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bitcoin is still making some drops right there. We're going to have to keep an eye on this.